Aloha. I'm Jefferson. Welcome to Original Practice Shakespeare straight from the first folio with Ono Maui Shakespeare. We serve Shakespeare fresh, like they often did around the turn of the 16th century, which means our players have not rehearsed together and may not have even had time to memorize their roles. That's fine. They have their lines and just the few lines of their cues on a scroll which they will be referring to as needed, much like the one that I'm reading off of right now. Because of this, you will have the privilege of seeing the players' wheels turning as they make new discoveries during the scene, such as realizing they have been speaking to the wrong character for a while now, or a widening of the eyes as they finally understand the body double meaning of a line for the first time. And if they become flustered or completely lose their place in their scroll, they have a prompter who will bail them out as needed by feeding them their lines or even calling a halt to the scene entirely to ask them crazy questions as we wait for a noise or disturbance to pass that is keeping you from properly digesting the poetry. And it is poetry. Shakespeare literally directed his plays with his pen, much like a music score is written. The iambic rhythm is the heartbeat of the poet, and every comma, semicolon, capital letter, colon, etc. has a specific beat or purpose. And if you keep the meter rolling as it was intended, you are being directed by Shakespeare, which is why our productions don't have a director, just as they didn't have them in Shakespeare's theater. A few other things you should know. Clever ad-libbing is totally acceptable. There is often some improv, mostly depending on the prompter. We pay zero attention to the fourth wall, and we often invite audience members to participate, but only if they're willing, so no pressure. And we're Zooming this one anyway, so don't worry about it. Now that you know what you're getting into, we present you with our very first powerful women's Zoom playgroup. So sit back, pour yourself a glass of something nice, and enjoy. Mahalo.
Don't forget to unmute.
Hi, I'm Christy, and I am the prompter for The Tempest, Act 3, Scene 2. The scene will begin and end on this sound.
Oh.
Awesome. So I am Steffi, and I'm playing Stefano.
I'm Allie, and I'm playing Trincalo.
I'm
Marcy. You go.
Great. I'm Leah, and I'm playing Caliban.
And I'm Marcy, and I'm playing Ariel, and I am able to be heard but not seen.
Ill not me. When the blood is out, we will drink water, not a drop before. Therefore bear up, and boredom, servant monster, drink to me.
Servant monster? The folly of this island. There is but 5 upon the isle, and we are 3 of them. If the other 2 be brained like us, the state totters.
Drink, servant monster, I bid thee. Thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
Well, where should they be else? He were a brave monster indeed if they were set in his tail.
My man monster hath drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore 35 leagues off and on. By this light, thou shalt be my lieutenant. You're my standard.
Your lieutenant, if you list, he's no standard.
Will not run, monsieur monster.
Nor go neither, but lie like dogs, and yet say neither.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life, if thou beest a good mooncalf.
Does thy honor let me lick thy shoe? Not serve him, he is not valiant.
Most ignorant monster, I am in case to justle with a constable. Why, thou debauched fish, was there ever a man a coward that hath drunk so much sake as I do today? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half fish and half a monster?
Lo, how he mocks me! Wilt thou let him, Lord?
Lord, quoth he, that a monster should be such a natural.
Lo, again! Bite him to death, I prithee!
Trinculo, keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove a mutineer the next tree, the poor monster's my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank thee, my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suite I made to thee?
Marry will I. Kneel and repeat it. I will stand, and so shall Trinculo.
As I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer that by his cunning hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest.
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou. I would my valiant master would destroy thee. I do not lie.
Trinculo, if you trouble him any more and tale by this hand, I will supplant some of your teeth.
Why? I said nothing.
Mumden, and no more. Proceed.
I say by sorcery he got this isle from me. He got it. If thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest. But this thing dare not.
That's most certain.
Thou shalt be lord of it, and I'll serve thee.
How now shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, my lord, I'll yield him thee asleep, where thou mayst knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest, thou canst not.
What a toy ninny is this? Thou scurvy patch, I do beseech thy greatness, give him blows, and take his bottle from him. When that's gone, he shall drink naught but brine, for I'll not shew him where the quick freshes are.
Trinculo, run into no further danger. Interrupt the monster one word further, and by this hand, I'll turn my mercy out of doors and make a stockfish of thee.
Why? What did I did nothing. I'll go further.
Didst thou not say he lied?
Thou liest.
Oh, do I so? Take that! As you like this, give me the lie another time.
I did not give the lie. Out of your wits and out of his ears. Hearing too. Oh, what pops on your bottle, this can sake in drinking do. A murrain on your monster, and the devil take your fingers.
Now, forward with your tale. Prithee, stand farther off.
Beat him enough. After a little time, I'll beat him too.
And farther.
Why, as I told thee, 'tis a custom with him. I'th afternoon to sleep, there thou mayst brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log, batter his skull, or punch him with a stake, or cut his weazen with thy knife. Remember first to possess his books, for without them he's but a sot, as I am, nor hath not one spirit to command. They all do hate him, as rootedly as I. Burn but his books. He has brave utensils, for so he calls them, which when he has a house, he'll dig withal, and that most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her a nonpareil. I never saw a woman but only Sycorax, my dam. And she fair surpassed Sycorax, as great do's least.
Is it so brave a lass?
Aye, Lord. She will become thy bed, I warrant, and bring thee forth a brave brood.
I will kill this man. His daughter and I will be king and queen, save our graces. And Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Give me thy hand. I am sorry I beat thee. But while thou livest, keep a good tongue in thy head.
Within this half hour he will be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on my honor.
This I will tell my master.
Thou makest me merry. I am full of pleasure. Let us be jocund. Will you true the catch you taught me well, but while off?
At thy request, monster, I will do reason. Any reason. Come on, Trinculo, let us sing. Scout 'em and scout 'em and scout 'em and scout 'em. God is free.
No. Sorry, my screw.
Caliban, line 8.
Oh, thank you. That's not the tune.
What is the same?
This is the tune of our catch, played by the picture of nobody.
Thou beest man, show thyself in thy likeness. If thou beest devil, makest thou list.
Oh, forgive me my sins.
He that dies pay all debt. I defy thee! Mercy upon us.
Art thou afeard?
No, monster, not I.
Be not afeard. The isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears. Sometimes voices will hum above, that if I then had walked after a long sleep, will make me sleep again, and then in dreaming the clouds methought would open, and shrill riches ready to drop upon me, that when I'd waked, I'd cry to dream again.
Brave kingdom to me, where I shall have my music for nothing.
When Prospero is destroyed,
That shall be by and by. Remember the story.
The sound is going away. Let's follow it, and after do our work.
Lead, monster. We'll follow it. I would I could see this tabor. He lays it on.
Wilt come? I'll follow Stefano.
Hello, I'm Marcy Smith. I'll be the prompter for The Merchants of Venice, Act 1, Scene 2.
Hi, I'm Lynn McEwen. I will be playing Portia.
Hi, I'm Tina Kaili-Poni, and I will play the role of Narissa.
Hi, I'm Barbara Sedano, and I will be the serving man.
The scene will start and end when I make this noise.
By my troth, Narissa, my little body is aweary of this great world.
You would be sweet, madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. It is no small happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean superfluity, comes sooner by white hairs, but competence lives longer.
Good sentences and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree. Such a hair is madness, the youth. To skip o'er the meshes of good counsel, the cripple. But this reason is not in fashion to choose me a husband. Me, the word choose. I may neither choose whom I would nor refuse whom I dislike. So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Is it not hard, Narissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none?
Your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that he hath devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, and will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly, but one who you shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that already come?
I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them. And according to my description, level at my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
Aye, that's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes it a great appropriation to his own good parts that he can shoe him himself. I am much afraid my lady his mother played false with a smith.
Then there is the County Palatine.
Ugh, he doth nothing but frown. As who should say, and you will not have me, choose. He hears merry tales and smiles not. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher when he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth. I had rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. God, defend me from these two.
How say you by the French lord, Monsieur Le Bon?
God made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he, why, he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, and a better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man in no man. If a truffle sing, he falls straight a capering. He will fence with his own shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him. For if he loves me to madness, I should never requite him.
What say you then to Falconbridge, the young Baron of England?
You know, I say nothing to him, for he understands not me, nor I him. He hath neither Latin, French, nor Italian, and you will come into the court and swear that I have a poor pennyworth in the English. He is a proper man's picture, but alas, who can converse with a dumb show? How oddly he is suited. I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round hose in France, his bonnet in Germany, and behavior everywhere.
What think you of the other lord and his neighbor?
That he hath a neighborly charity in him, for he borrowed a box of the ear of the Englishman and swore he would pay him again when he was able. I think the Frenchman became a surety and sealed under for another.
Okay, how like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew?
Very wildly in the morning when he is sober, and most wildly in the afternoon when he is drunk. When he is best, he is little worse than a man, and when he is worse, he is a little better than a beast. And the worst fall that ever fell, I hope I shall make shift to go without him.
If he should offer to choose and choose the right casket, you should refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him.
Well, therefore fear for the worst. I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket, for if the devil be within and the temptation without, I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I will be married to a sponge.
You need not fear, lady, that the having of any of these lords, they have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their home and to trouble you with no more suit, unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition, depending on the caskets.
If I live to be as old as Sibylla, I will die as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. I am glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among them but I dote on his very absence, and I wish them a fair departure.
Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar, and a soldier that came hither in company of the Marquis of Montferrat?
Yes. Yes, it was Bassanio, as I think.
Mm-hmm.
Who he was called.
True, madam. He, of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon, was the best deserving of fair lady.
I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise.
The four strangers seek you, madam, to take their leave. And there is a forerunner come from a rift, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word. The prince, his master, will be here tonight.
If I could bid the fifth welcome with so good heart as I can bid the other four farewell, I should be glad of his approach. If he have the condition of a saint and the complexion of a devil, I had rather he should shrive me than wive me. Come, Nerissa, Sirrah, go before, whiles we shut the gate upon one wooer, another knocks at the door.
Hello, my name is Hoku Pavao, and I will be the prompter for The Life of Henry V. We are reading Act 2, Scene 3.
I am Christy, the French Queen.
I am Allie, the constable.
I'm Jussara Oliveira, will be playing the Dolphin.
Sarah, darling, there you are.
I'm Sarah, I'll be playing the messenger. Thank you.
And I am Marcy Smith. I'll be playing the exhibitor.
And the scene will begin and end on this.
Thus comes the English with full power upon us, and more than carefully it us concerns to answer royally in our defenses. Therefore, the Dukes of Berry and Bretagne, of Brabant and Orleans shall make forth, and you, Prince Dolphin, with all swift dispatch to line, and new repair our towns of war with men of courage and means defendant. For England, his approaches make us fierce as washes of the sucking of a gulf. It sits us then to be provident, as fear may teach us out of late examples left by the fatal and neglected English upon our fields.
My most redoubted mother, 'tis most meet we arm us against the foe, for peace itself should not so dull a kingdom, though war nor no known quarrel were in question, but that defenses, musters, preparations should be maintained, assembled and collected, as were a war in expectation. Therefore, I say, 'tis meet we all go forth to view the sick and feeble parts of friends, and let us do it with no short of fear. No, with no more than if we heard that England were busied with Whitton Morris dance. For, my good liege, she's so widely kinged, her scepter so fantastically borne by a vain, giddy, shallow, humorous youth, that fear attends her not.
Oh, peace, Prince Dolphin. You are too much mistaken in this king. Question your grace the late ambassadors, with what great state he heard their embassy. How well supplied with noble counselors, how modest in exception, and withal, how terrible in constant resolution. And you shall find his vanities forspent. Were but the outside of the Roman Brutus covering discretion with a coat of folly, as gardeners do with ordew hide the roots that shall first spring and be most delicate.
Well, 'tis not so, my Lord High Constable, but though we think it so, it's no matter. In cases of defense, 'tis best we weigh the enemy more mighty than he seems, so the proportions of defense are filled. Which of a weak and niggardly projection doth like a miser spoil his coat with scanting a little cloth?
Think we King Harry strong, and princes, look you strongly armed to meet him. The kindred of him hath been fleshed upon us, and he is bred out of that bloody strain that haunted us in our familiar paths. Witness our too much memorable shame. With Cressy battle fately was struck, and all our princes captive by the hand of that black name Edward, Prince of Wales. Whilst that his mountain sire on mountain standing up in the air, crowned with the golden sun, saw his heroical seed and smiled to him, mangle the work of nature and deface the patterns that by God and French fathers had 20 years been made. This is a stem of that victorious stock, and let us fear the native mightiness and fate of him.
Ambassadors from Harry, King of England, do crave admittance to your majesty.
We'll give him present audience. Go and bring him. You see, this chase is hotly followed, friends.
Turn head and stop pursuit, for coward dogs most spend their mouths when what they seem to threaten runs far before them. Good, my sovereign, take up the English short and let them know of what a monarchy you would had. Self-love, my liege, is not so vile a sin as self-neglecting.
From our brother England?
From him, and thus he greets your majesty. He wills you in the name of God Almighty that your divest and yourself and lay apart the borrows of glories, and by the gift of heaven, by law of nature and of nations, longs to him and to his heirs, namely the crown, and all wide-stretched honors that pertain by custom and by ordinance of time, unto the crown of France, that you may know 'tis no sinister, no awkward claim, pixt from the wormholes of long vanquished days, nor from the dust of old oblivion raked. He sends you this most honorable line, in every branch truly demonstrative, willing you overlook this pedigree, and when you find him evenly derived from his most famed of famed ancestors, Edward III, he bids you then resign your crown and kingdom, indirectly held from him, the native and true challenger.
Prompter line.
Or else what follows?
Or else what follows?
Bloody constraint. For if you hide the crown even in your hearts, there he will rake for it. Therefore a fierce tempest he is coming, in thunder and in earthquake, like a Jove, that is requiring fail he will compel, and bids you in the bowels of the Lord deliver up the crown, and to take mercies on the poor souls for whom this hungry war opens its vasty jaws, and on your head turning the widow's tears, the orphan's cries, the dead man's bloods, the privy maiden's groans for husbands, fathers, and betrothed lovers that shall be swallowed up in these controversies. This is his claim, his threatening, and my message. Unless the Dauphine be present here, to whom expressly I bring greeting to.
For us, we will consider this matter further. Tomorrow you shall bear our full intent back to our brother England.
For the Dauphine, I stand here for him. What to him from England?
Scorn and defiance, slight regard, contempt, and anything that may not misbecome the mighty sender. Doth he prize you at, thus says my king, and if your father's highness does not, in grant of all demands at large, sweeten the bitter mock you sent his majesty, he'll call you so hot an answer of it, that caves and womby voltages of France shall chide your trespass and return your mark in second assent of his ordinance.
Say if my mother ran the fair return, it is against my will, for I desire nothing but odds with England. To that end, as matching to his youth and vanity, I did present him with Paris balls.
He'll make your Paris lover shake for it. Where it is the mistress court of mighty Europe, and be assured you'll find a difference, as we his subject have in wonder found, between the promise of his greener days and these his master now. Now he weighs time even to the utmost grain, that you shall read in your own losses if he stays in France.
Tomorrow you shall know our mind in full.
Dispatch us with all speed, lest our king come here himself to question our delay, for he is footed in this land already.
You shall soon be dispatched with fair conditions, and night is but small breath and little pause to matter of this consequence.
All right, so Steffi here again, and I am prompting What to Do About Nothing, Act 2, Scene 3. My players will know that they are ready to start when they hear the beautiful sound of this recorder.
Beautiful. Hi, I'm Patty Lee, and I'll be playing the prince.
Hi, I'm Barbara Satano. I'll be Leonato.
Is it my turn?
It is.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Leah, and I'll be playing Benedict. Benedict, something like that.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I will be playing Beatrice.
Hi, I'm Hoku, and I will be playing Claudio.
All right, players, here we go.
Come hither, Leonardo. What was it you told me of today, that your niece, Beatrice, was in love with Senor Benedict?
Oh, aye. Stuck on, the foul sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither, but most wonderful that she should so dote on Senor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behaviors seemed ever to abhor.
It's possible? Sister wind in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection, in the past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit?
Faith, like enough.
Oh, God, countenance? There was never counterfeit of passion, come so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Oh, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sift you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did, indeed.
How? How, I pray you? You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I should think this a goal. That white-bearded fellow, knavery cannot sure hide himself in such reverence.
He hath feigned thy affection. Hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, she and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, so your daughter says. Shall I say, she says. And so oft encountered with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This sails she now when she is beginning to write him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there will she sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
Oh, when she writ it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheets.
That.
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, rated at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, said she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he write to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then, down upon her knees, she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed. My daughter says so, and the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometime afeared she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would but make a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should, if it were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent, sweet lady, and out of all suspicion, she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything but in loving Benedict.
Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body. We have 10 proof to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have doffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you tell Benedict of it and hear what he will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die, if he loves her not. And she will die ere she make her love known. And she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
The prince is
So, Prince, what do you think she'll do after that?
Oh, she doth well if she should make tender of her love. 'Tis very possible he'll scorn it, for the man, as you know well, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
For God, and in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some spark that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
As Hector, I assure you. And in the managing of quarrels you may see he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion or undertakes them with a Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God, he must necessarily keep peace. If he break the peace, he ought to enter into a quarrel with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, for the man doth fear God. However, it seems not in him. By some large jest he makes. Well, I'm sorry for your niece. Shall we go see Benedict and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, he will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy to have such a good lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and gentlewoman carry. The sport will be, when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage and no such matter, that's the scene I would see, which will be merely a dumb show. Let us send him to call her in to dinner.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have the full bent. Love me? Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth. I can bear them witness, and virtuous, 'tis so. I cannot reprove it, and wise, but for loving me. But my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth, but he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences, and these paper bullets of the brain, awe a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day, she's a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Oh, against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Oh, fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure then in the message.
Yea, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a doll withal. You have no stomach, senor. Fare you well.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come into dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That is much as to say, any pains that I take for you is as ease as thanks. If I do take pity of her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I'm a miser. I will go get her picture.
Well, hello. We'll begin. And my name is Tina, and I will be the prompter for Much Ado About Nothing, Act 3, Scene 1.
My name is Sarah. I'm playing Hero.
My name is Hoku, and I'm playing Marguerite.
And my name is Christy, and I am Ursula.
My name is Laura, and I am Beatrice.
And the scene will begin when I clap my hands 2 times.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice, proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear, and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the pleated bower, where honeysuckles ripened by the sun, forbid the sun to enter, like favorites made proud by princes that advance their pride. Against that power that bred it, there will she hide her. To listen to our purpose, this is thy office. Fare thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warrant you presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must be only of it. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look, where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish caught with her golden oars, the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So we angle for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then we go near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection, and to never let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full and fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
O God of love! I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Oh, sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew of his love, lest she make sport of it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man, how wise, how noble, young, how fairly featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black, why nature, drawing of an antique, made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate very wildly cut. If speaking, why a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, sure. Such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore let Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death to die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedict, and counsel him to fight against his passion, and truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy. Always accepted, my dear Claudio.
I pray you not be angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedict, for shape, for bearing argument and valor, goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he made it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day, tomorrow. Come, go in, I'll show thee some attires, and have thy counsel which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's ta'en, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it prove so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
Fire is in my ears. Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride, adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. Oh, and Benedict, love on. I will requite thee, retaining my wild heart to thy loving hand, if thou dost love. Oh, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our love up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
Aloha.
Hello.
My name is Leah, and I will be prompting Romeo and Juliet.
I am Steffi, and I am playing Romeo.
And I'm Megan Kakamo. I will be playing Juliet.
He just has scars that never felt the wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, and yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were they, are they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy regions stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night being over my head as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white, upturned, wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy, puffing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak of this?
It's but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. Well, what's a Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face. Oh, be some other name belonging to a man. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet, so Romeo would, were he not Romeo called. Retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title, Romeo. Doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take on myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
No, what art thou that thus bescreeched and I so stumblest on my counsel?
Thy name, I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
Well, how camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
On love's light wings did I overperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Black, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes. But thou love me? Let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou this place?
by love that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel and I lent them eyes. I'm no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washeth with the farthest sea? I should adventure for such merchandise.
Oh, now thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would have made him blush to paint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word, yet if thou swearest thou mayest prove false. At love or perjures, they say Jove law. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay. So thou wilt woo. Oh, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have coined to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst I was where my true lover's passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder moon I vow that tips with silver all these fruit treetops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the constant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Oh, do not swear at all. Or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Oh, well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too sudden, too like the lightning, which doth cease ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
Oh, I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give it again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
To be frank and give it to thee again, yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. Oh, I hear some noise within. Oh, dear love, adieu.
Madam!
Oh, no, I good nurse. Oh, sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little. I will come again.
Oh, blessed night! I am afeard, being a knight. All this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow. By one I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the land.
Madam!
I come anon! But if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
Madam! To cease thy strife and leave me to my grief tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worst want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
Hist, Romeo, hist. Oh, for Faulkner's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else would I tear the cave where echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than with repetition of my Romeo. 'Tis my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears. Romeo, my niece. What o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee? By the hour 9? Oh, I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back. Then let me stand here till thou remember it. Oh, I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company. And I'll still stay. Now thee still forgetting any other home but this. Oh, 'tis almost morning. I would have thee gone yet no further than a wanton's bird lets it hop a little from his hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted guise, and the silken thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty. Oh, would I were thy bird. So would I. Oh, yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light. And darkness, fleckled, like a drunkard reels from fourth day's pathway made by tightened wheels. Hence, will I go to my ghostly friar's close cell, his help to crave, and my have to tell.
Yay!
Wow. Thank you so much for watching the first ever OMS Powerful Women's Zoom Playgroup. If you like what you saw, please let us know on Facebook or email us at onoshakespeare.com. Info at onoshakespeare.com. You can check out our website at onoshakespeare.com and feel free to donate so one day we can compensate these wonderful players that dedicate their time and their talent to help bring original practice Shakespeare to Maui. If we all give just a little bit, we can keep Shakespeare's timeless poetry on island year-round. Parting is indeed such sweet sorrow, but alas, at some point we have to go. So, from all of us with Ono Maui Shakespeare, mahalo for your support and have a magical day.